Namaha. A very warm welcome to Global Festival of Oneness 2024. We had our inaugural session in the morning, graced by Anugraha Sandesham of Sri Vidishekara Bharati Swamigal, Jagadguru Shankaracharya of Dakshinamaya Sringeri Sharda Peetham. And now we start with our first session of the festival. This is Nitin Sridhar, the chief curator of the festival. Let me begin with a small prayer. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismati Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hare Om. Today we are very fortunate to have with us Swami Shivaprakashananda ji, who will be speaking on a very important and a very interesting topic, Vedanta Sadhana, a journey from loneliness to onlyness. Often when people speak about Vedanta, many get this wrong misconception that it is all about dry philosophy. So this session will take one to the real aspect of Vedanta at an individual level, which is Vedanta Sadhana, which is all about the journey of an individual from loneliness to onlyness. And I am personally very eager to hear Swamiji on this very important topic. But before we proceed, just a brief introduction. Swami Shivaprakashananda Saraswati ji is a sannyasin and a traditional teacher of Vedanta. He received Vedanta Upadesha and Sannyasa Diksha from Puja Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji. He was interested in spiritual pursuit right from his childhood days. He has performed many sadhanas over many years across different parts of India, and he has received a vision of Adhyatma Vidya from accomplished spiritual masters. He has studied Vedanta Shastra, Paniniyam, Vyakarana Shastra, and different darshanas with great dedication. Besides leading a simple and contemplative life, Swamiji teaches Vedanta Shastras to different sincere seekers of spiritual wisdom. We are very fortunate to have you here today, Swamiji. Thank you for accepting our invitation right away. We are very truly blessed because of this. Please go ahead and start your session.
Om. Om. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shrutismati Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. It is a great honor and a great pleasure to address you on the auspicious occasion of Shankara Jayanti. Let us start the session with the prostration to Sri Shankara Bhagavadpada. who is a great personality in the unbroken lineage of the tradition of Vedanta. Today's topic is Vedanta Sadhana, a journey from loneliness to onlyness. Let us start with understanding this topic. The word loneliness is familiar to all. Loneliness is a problem. Nobody wants loneliness. Loneliness is a feeling of sadness, a feeling of helplessness, a feeling that you do not have a company, you do not have any support. Loneliness is an important symptom of the problem of samsara. In the Vedantic parlance, the word samsara stands for all our problems at the psychological level, at the mental level, like sorrow, depression, insecurity, a sense of lacking, and so on. These problems are universal. The problem of samsara is universal. Therefore, you cannot find anybody in the universe who has not experienced samsara. If you ask anybody, have you experienced sadness? Have you experienced insecurity? Everybody says yes. Nobody can say no. Therefore, the problem of samsara is universal. Therefore, even the solution to the problem has to be universal. Vedanta is the solution. Brahma Vidya is the solution. Therefore, Vedanta is universally relevant. Many people wonder whether Vedanta is relevant in the modern time or not. Science and technology have advanced a great deal. Therefore, does this ancient wisdom of Vedanta remain relevant even to this date? The answer is Vedanta is much more relevant in today's times than any other time perhaps. Because despite all advancement in science and technology, the human mind remains the same on account of the modern lifestyle. Many problems have increased to a great extent, especially the problem of loneliness. Nowadays, many people live alone. The children are away, the relatives are away. It is difficult to find a companion. Therefore, the problem of loneliness can be felt very intensely in modern times. That is why I have chosen loneliness as an indication, as a representative of all the problems at the mental level. Loneliness indicates samsara, the problem that the Vedanta addresses. The Vedanta sadhana is a journey from loneliness to onlyness. Now let me explain the word onlyness. In today's context, the word onlyness is used in some different sense also. But in the context of Vedanta, I have used the word onlyness to refer to moksha. Onlyness is moksha. In Vedanta, moksha is also called kaivalya. Kevalasya bhavaha kaivalyam. The closest possible translation of the word kaivalya is onlyness. Kevala means only, and kaivalya means onlyness. When you understand that you are not a limited individual confined to this physical body, you are the infinite, all-pervasive Brahman, which is the only reality. When you realize this, you have attained onlyness, kaivalya. moksha. Moksha is the goal, and the goal is nothing but Brahman. Moksha is nothing but Brahman, because moksha is the nature of Brahman. The Vedanta describes Brahman also as the only, ekam eva advitiyam. Vedanta does not stop by saying Brahman is eka, Brahman is one. It does not stop there. After ekam, there is the word eva. Ekam eva means one only. Why one only? Advitiyam. Because there is no second. There is no second reality. There is no second substance. There is a concept called monotheism. Sometimes people think even the Vedanta is monotheism, but it is not true. In the concept of monotheism, there is one God. They will say God is one. But it does not mean there is only God. In addition to one God, there are many other things. There is the world, there is sun, there is moon, there is mountain. Every object in the world is real, and God excludes all these objects. It is the concept of monotheism. Whereas the Brahman, which is revealed by the Vedanta, is not an object apart from the other objects in the universe. That is why the Vedanta says, ekam eva, one only. Therefore, even the Brahman is onlyness. Onlyness is the Brahman, which is called moksha. It is our goal. So the journey from loneliness to onlyness, we are trying to understand this. Recently, I came across a very interesting statement in some article. Happiness is not a destination. It is a choice. Let me repeat once again. Happiness is not a destination. Happiness is a choice. This statement is very true. Any student of Vedanta will attest to it. Let me analyze this statement in relation to Vedanta. The first part of the statement, happiness is not a destination. The Vedanta Shastra is very clear that happiness is your own nature. It is the Swarupa of the Atma. The Atma is Satchid Ananda. Therefore, happiness is within ourselves. Therefore, any effort to find happiness outside is futile, useless, and not only it is useless, it is impossible also. One cannot find happiness in any external source. Therefore, the Vedanta does not advocate going to any other loka like Swarga or heaven to get happiness. It is already within. Therefore, happiness is not a destination. Then what about the journey? Our topic is journey. Journey from loneliness to onlyness. If happiness is not the destination, then why there is a journey? Shankaracharya says, avagatireva gatirityupacharyate. There is no real journey. It is avagatihi. Avagatihi means discovery, understanding. We have to discover the happiness within ourselves. And the process of discovery is figuratively called journey. Therefore, it is not a physical journey. The journey is nothing but a discovery. The discovery involves a process. Now let us come to the second half of the statement. Happiness is a choice. It is also very true. Happiness is a choice. Meaning, if you have to find the happiness, you have to make a choice. Only those who choose discover the happiness within themselves. There is an Upanishadic statement, Yame Vaisha Vrinute Tena Labhyaha. One who chooses attains it. Therefore, we have to make a choice. As far as moksha is concerned, as far as happiness is concerned, we have to make a choice. We have to choose moksha. I want moksha. The choice has to happen. In fact, the greatest hurdle in Vedanta sadhana is choice. It is very difficult to make a clear choice. Often people say, we want moksha. It is easy to say, we want moksha. But do we really want it? Have we really chosen it? We have to ask this question to ourselves. It is like going to a shop. You go to a shop, look at various items, and choose the best of the items. You have chosen a very good item of very good quality, and then you have chosen it. Yes, I want this item. Then you ask for the price. How much does it cost? Then the shopkeeper says, it costs a big amount. When you hear the cost, when you hear the price, you find it is very expensive. You have to shell out a lot of money if you have to get the product. Then you start thinking again whether I should spend that much money or not. Most often people are reluctant to spend. That means if you have to get something of good quality, you have to be ready to make a sacrifice. We have to be ready to pay a price. It is true even in the case of moksha. If you have to get moksha, we should be ready to make sacrifices. We should be ready to give up. There is a very important Shruti Vakya which occurs in many Upanishads. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amritattvamanashuhu. Tyage naike amritattvamanashuhu. The way to attain moksha, amritattva, is a tyaga. There is no moksha without a tyaga. There is no moksha without sacrifice. When I say tyaga, I do not mean taking sannyasa. Should everyone take sannyasa immediately? That is not the idea. In fact, even the first step of spiritual pursuit starts with sacrifice. We have to sacrifice many things. Nowadays, people are becoming more and more individualistic. Recently, I heard a talk that the individualism seems to be going too far. The individualism, the extreme individualism, it leads to self-centeredness. People become more and more self-centered. Their own interests, their own likes and dislikes become the priority. That is why people are not ready to sacrifice even a little bit, even for the sake of their family, even for the sake of their closest relatives. The more self-centered people become, the more miserable they become. One cannot be happy and peaceful with self-centeredness. The first step in the spiritual pursuit is to be broad-minded, is to be generous, is to be accommodating. The Vedanta sadhana involves the performance of one's swadharma. Swakarmana tamabhyarchya siddhim vindati manavaha. Bhagavan says in chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita, one should perform swadharma. Without performing one's swadharma, one does not grow spiritually. the spiritual unfoldment requires the performance of Swadharma. One should follow the values and perform one's duties. If we have to perform our duties, we have to make our own likes and dislikes subservient to our duties. Therefore, on many occasions, we may have to sacrifice our own personal interests, our own personal likes and dislikes, in order to follow the value of dharma. Nowadays, election is going on in this country. I find many students of Vedanta, they do not cast their vote. They listen to Vedanta, perhaps casually, or sometimes a little seriously also. I find that they do not cast their vote. They do not exercise their franchise. Then I ask them, why? Why didn't you cast your vote? Because casting the vote is a duty. Duty of the citizen of a democratic country. When I ask this question, they will start quoting Vedanta. Jagan mithya. The world is unreal. Brahman is real. So why should I cast my vote? What I mean to say is that people often quote Vedanta as an excuse. Excuse to violate their own duties. Excuse to avoid their duties. Shankaracharya says, Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat, Kriyadvaitam na karihichit. This shloka is found in a Prakarana Grantha called Tattva Viveka. Sorry, Tattvopadesha. It is a rare Prakarana Grantha attributed to Adi Shankara. Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat. One should have Advaita in the understanding. Advaita should be there in the mind, in the vision. Kriyadvaitam na karihi chit. In the vyavahara, while doing the empirical transactions, we should not quote Advaita as an excuse. Therefore, the Vedanta sadhana involves performing one's own duties, following the values as prescribed by the Shastra. There is a beautiful word, jijnasa. Jijnasa means a thirst for knowledge, a thirst for self-knowledge, a thirst for Atmajnana. When we talk about the Vedanta Sadhana, the direct means for moksha is the self-knowledge, because moksha has to be attained by discovering the self, by discovering the Brahman within ourselves. There is a profound shloka in Vartika, Brihadaranyaka Vartika of Sureshwaracharya. Kritsneshtarthasya sampraptihi kritsnanarthanhutistatha atmaswarupannanyatra sambhavya sahi manataha. The moksha involves accomplishing the total happiness. Krishna ishtarthasya sampraptihi, attaining the total happiness. Such a happiness that there is no lacking. Such a happiness that you do not feel any shortage of happiness. Kritsnanarthan hutihi, and freedom from all unhappiness, freedom from all problems at the mental level. Where is it found? Vartikakara says, Sureshwaracharya says, Atmaswarupannanyatra sambhavya. It is nowhere other than in the Atmaswarupa. It is in your own nature. In the Atma, which is nothing but Brahman. How to attain it? Sahi manataha. It has to be attained only through knowledge, self-knowledge. Because the distance between ourselves and moksha is only ignorance. Ignorance is the only distance. Avidyakrita vyavadhana. There is no distance in terms of space between me and moksha. There is no distance in terms of time. The only distance between me and moksha is the ajnana, self-ignorance, and it has to be destroyed only through atmajnana, only through self-knowledge. Now, how to get self-knowledge? Of course, you have to approach a guru. Here also, I would like to make an observation. Nowadays, people listen to Vedanta online, but the online sessions can be a casual introduction for a beginner, and to some extent, they can be a supplement for one who is pursuing the study of Vedanta. They can be a supplement, but never a substitute. Whether it is YouTube or any other online platform, it cannot be a substitute for studying Vedanta, receiving the Upadesha directly from a competent guru. Therefore, tadvijnanartham sa gurumevabhigachet samitpanihi shrotriyam brahmanishtham. The Upanishad says you have to approach a guru. There is a misconception that guru will come to us, but it is not so. The Upanishad does not say guru will come and knock at your door. There is a misconception. If we are ready, the guru will come and knock at our door. It does not happen. The Upanishad says abhigachet. The Shishya should find a guru and the Shishya should go to the guru with the proper etiquette, with the proper vidhi. That is how the Atma Jnana is pursued. But if we have to pursue the Atma Jnana, we should also have the intense thirst for knowledge, intense thirst for Atma Jnana. And the intense thirst for Atma Jnana is possible only if we perform our swadharma. With the proper attitude, with the devotion to Ishvara. There is a statement in Brihadaranyaka-upanishad, tametam vedanuvachanena brahmana vividishanti yajnena danena tapasa anashakena. The jijnasa, the intense thirst for Atma Jnana is cultivated through certain practices like yajna. There are various types of yajna, worshipping the devatas or doing japa. Even japa is a yajna. And dana, giving. Dana is a very important practice, especially in Kali Yuga. The Shastra says dana is the most important type of practice. Shraddhaya deyam. One should give with the shraddha, with the proper attitude, without expecting any return to deserving people. And tapas. Tapas involves adhering to the values like truthfulness, etc., even under challenging circumstances. If we adhere to the values of the Shastra, the values of the Dharma, even under challenging circumstances, even under the circumstances of temptation, it is a tapas. So with yajna, dana, tapas, and performing the swadharma, one can enhance the appetite for self-knowledge. Jijnasa is the appetite for self-knowledge. And one can digest the food only when there is appetite. One can assimilate the food only when there is appetite. In the same manner, the teaching of Vedanta can be assimilated only when there is jijnasa, the true thirst for self-knowledge. And it has to be cultivated through the practice of swadharma, following one's duties, yajna, dana, and tapas. With this, I conclude. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you very much, Swamiji.
Narayan, Narayan. Om, Om, Om.
Thank you very much, Swamiji,
Om, Om, Om. Yeah, yeah.
for a wonderful session and highlighting a very important point about how our Swadharma plays a very important role in pursuit of Vedanta. How as you mentioned towards the end, Yajna, Dana, Tapa, all are very, very important in Vedanta sadhana. Contrary to popular perception, this is where the journey begins with dharma. The journey to moksha begins with dharma, swadharma. So thank you for very much for this teaching. I'm sure all of our audience will have much more things to do the mananam of what they did the Shravanam. Thank you very much, Swami.
Okay. Om, Om. Narayan. Om. Yeah.
Viewers, with this, we come to a conclusion of today's session. And tomorrow morning, we have another talk by Swamini Supravanandaji. She will be delivering a Hindi talk. Srinivas, can you put the flyer? Yes, she will be delivering a Hindi talk on Sri Dakshinamurti Stotra Sankshipt Vyakhya. So join us tomorrow at 7 a.m. For Swaminiji's talk. With this, we conclude the session. Thank you. Shri Guru.
Om, Om. Narayan. Om, Om.